Hello, and thank you for joining today's Facebook Live. I'm Nora, and I'm here with my friend Callie, one of our goats here at the zoo. And we are hanging out in our goat yard. Oh, thank you, that's my toe. So we're gonna take Callie for a little walk today. Oh, no ma'am. So she is working on a couple of habits, trying to break them, just like that jumping habit. So I have some food for her here in this little pouch, and we are gonna go for a little walk. So our goats get a bunch of different types of enrichment. So these walks are one of those, and interacting with their keepers and other people like myself, some of our guests when our petting yard is open. That is one of their forms of enrichment. And they also have a ball like this to play with. They get some browse that they clearly enjoyed. So different types of food and different things in their environment act as kind of enrichment. It keeps them entertained, it keeps them guessing, and it kind of mimics some of their natural behavior, like this structure behind me. So our goats, you might see them climbing all over that structure because they are very good climbers. So that is a way that they can, practice their natural behavior that they would be doing out in nature. But these are domesticated goats, which means that they are bred to live with people. So they were bred for their meat and their milk and to be companions. They are a very friendly type of goat. So Callie and all of our 8 goats that we have here at the zoo are Nigerian dwarf goats. So they're pretty small. They all are hanging out in the sun, munching away, enjoying the weather today. But Miss Callie is going to join us on a little walk. So we are going to head out of our goat yard and into the rest of our Franklin farm. So if you come to the zoo when we're in full swing, you may have been in our goat yard before because it's also called our contact yard, where you get a chance to feed or to touch our goats that we have here at the zoo. So let's see, where does Callie want to go? It seems like Callie wants to check out our barn. So this is our barn here at the Franklin farm. It's a little bit dark, but it's nice and cool on a really hot day like today. And my favorite part about this barn, and maybe Callie's favorite part too, is that if you're in here and you look up, you will see our barn owl, Morticia. So it's pretty easy to miss her when you come to the Franklin farm. But now that you know she's here, you can check it out when the barn is back open. So what do you think, Callie? Should we go check out our chickens? Or are they too noisy for us? Maybe they're too noisy. Let's see what other animals we can find in here. So in our farm is where we keep a lot of our domestic animals that we have here at the zoo. So we also have a miniature donkey, and pretty soon you'll be able to see some black, You'll be able to see some of our sheep too, who are pretty new to the zoo. So they're going to get settled in their exhibit soon. So that noise came from our friend in here, that miniature donkey that we were talking about. So they like to make that really, really loud sound, whereas Miss Callie here doesn't make too many sounds, just a lot of snorting, maybe a little bit of spitting. And you might notice that she has this pretty big stomach right now, and that is a bunch of gas. So she just had a really big meal, which means that she's going to be expelling some of that gas pretty soon. It's pretty silent when they do it. So we're going to try and go check out our chickens. If Callie wants to come and get some food. What do you think, Callie? Sounds good. So goats are one of the oldest domesticated animals. People have been relying on them for about 10,000 years, which is a pretty long time. So domesticated animals, they give us meat or milk or maybe their fur, which helps us humans survive. So domesticating animals is one of our behavioral adaptations. It's something that we do that helps us to survive. So Callie is one of our females, and this right here, Zeke, he's one of our males. And you might notice a couple differences between them. So you'll see that Zeke has these really big horns on his head, and Callie doesn't have any horns on their head. So that's a really quick way to tell a female versus a male goat. All right, Miss Callie, let's keep going. So if you look at their feet, they have hooves, and they have two of them. They are what we call even-toed ungulates. And there are also odd-toed ungulates like zebras and horses and tapirs. So those are all hooved animals. An ungulate is a hooved animal. And they are a really common type of animal. They're pretty popular. And they play a really important role, especially in a savanna ecosystem. If we think of gazelles and zebras, all of those ungulates, they are prey animals. So they are herbivores, they're eating plants, and other animals like lions or hyenas are going to be eating them. So it's really important that their populations are really healthy so that the other animals like the lions and the hyenas have enough food. So goats, these ones are domesticated, but you can find wild goats. There are wild goats that live in the Middle East, which are the types of goats that these guys came from way back when. And you'll find mountain goats here in the Rocky Mountains in North America. So here Callie's going to meet some of our chickens. These are another really common domesticated animal. Some of you guys may have chickens at home. And they provide us with meat and eggs. So all animals that were domesticated for different reasons. A lot of them for food or for fur, but some of them for companions, kind of like these goats, but also like one of the more common domesticated animals we might think of, a dog. So some of you watching may have a dog at home watching with you. And those are a really important domesticated animal for us because they're our companions. They're a really important social relationship that we have. And different breeds of dogs are a really good example of animals being domesticated for different purposes. So some dogs are really, really fast and they were bred to help with hunting. And then there's other dogs who were bred to just be lap dogs and hang out with people. So that is a really good example of being bred for different purposes. So one of my favorite features about Callie is that she's a little bit feisty. She wants to go where she wants to go. And if you look really closely at her face, she might make it hard to get a close-up shot, but she has really interesting eyes. So her pupils, that black part of her eye, is kind of like a rectangle. Now if we look at our eyes, the black part of our eyes is a circle, and our eyes are facing pretty much just forward. But Callie's eyes are kind of on the side of her head a little bit. And that is because goats and sheep, who also have these kinds of eyes, they are prey animals. So we mentioned that ungulates, those hooved animals, are usually prey animals. So by having their eyes on the side of their head, they can better see what is around them. So they can see if any predators are coming. And that rectangle shape allows them to see really well in a much broader picture than we can. So our peripheral vision, what we can see on the side of our head, isn't quite as great as these guys because they have those rectangular eyes. So it's really, really helpful for them. That's one of their adaptations. Another really cool part about Callie is her beautiful coat, right? She has some white and some brown and some black. She is pretty. But you might notice that our other goats are a bunch of other colors. Some are black and white, some, like Vader, are all black, some are tan. So these goats, the Nigerian dwarf goat, they come in a bunch of different colors. So you'll find them in all different shades, and we have quite a few of those shades here at the zoo. So Callie here has never been a mom. She doesn't have any kids, which is what we call a baby goat. But we have had a couple born here at the zoo. So we had Vader, one of our male goats, a few years ago. And we also had Foles, named after Nick Foles. Thank you, Philadelphia Zoo, for that. But Callie here is not a mom. I think she's a little too much of a princess. You know, she needs to be in the shade, needs to do things the Callie way.
Do you know how old Callie is?
I'm not sure how old Callie is. That's a good question. But these guys can live for up to 15 years, especially if they have a bunch of food and are really well taken care of, just like they are here at the zoo. She's getting lots and lots of snacks today. So she's younger than 15, but I'm not sure exactly how old she is. It's a good question.
Okay. Is there anything else you want to say? I think we're just about out of time.
All right, well, if we're out of time, then we will say goodbye to you guys. Thank you for joining us, and we hope to see you here at the zoo soon.